Hello, hello. I don't really want to watch this, but I said I would. Give it a go. Having to listen to this crashing, it's depressing. Give it a go, then.
Alright, time for another Draft Science on YouTube. Draftphysics.com, debatephysics.com.
What's with all this? That's a new thing, isn't it? It's like he's doing a Cliff Richard impersonation. Hello, guys.
Video presentation. Anyway, I'm trying to make a lever experiment.
Trying to make a lever experiment. Yeah, it's so difficult, isn't it, to make a lever? Turn him up a bit.
So I'll play a video.
Oh, it's turned down here, that's why. Turn back down there.
Of just the first video. Tried a couple of different ways of doing it, like a big, heavy, hard steel bar, and too heavy. Okay, so, but I was thinking that maybe if I suspended it, in the air, suspended it, yeah.
Why is everything so funny? Suspended in the air. So I'm just going to stick this on top of me monitor so I don't have to hold it all the friggin' time. So I'm going to roll a fag. I'm supposed to be stopping smoking, or that's my intention, but I'm having some difficulty lately. So, what doesn't help that I've run out of tobacco. I'm just relying on re-rolling a few that I didn't finish smoking before. Because I want to say I'm sick of smoking, but in a way I'm not. Kind of. Anyway, this is relevant to the subject. Just let me get this over and done with. Just want to be able to concentrate on what he's saying instead of being distracted by wanting a cig. He doesn't look mental there at all, does he, with his eyes popping out? Every time you stop a video of Gary's, it always comes out him looking like a nut job. But then again, when you don't freeze frame him, he still comes out looking like a nut job. Conclusion? Draw your own. Anyway, why has it taken him 2 years to do this experiment if it's so important? Why? Because clearly the subject isn't important to him, really. Here we go.
Alright, time for another draft.
What the fuck have I just clicked?
Alright, time for another Draft Science on YouTube. Draftphysics.com, debatephysics.com. Video presentation. Anyway, I'm trying to make a lever experiment. So I'll play a video of just the first video. Tried a couple of different ways of doing it, like a big, heavy, hard steel bar, and too heavy. Okay, so, but I was thinking that maybe if I suspended it, in the air, suspended it, yeah,
We understand.
and then had it, on a floating fulcrum, it's stiff, but it can float. That maybe this would work. It sounded really nice, so when the thing hits it, you can hear it. But
What the
yeah,
fuck's
not
that got to
much
do with it?
velocity out of it. So anyway, this is just a proof of concept kind of a video, so I'll just let it run. And it needs a lot of work right there. Um, First roll wasn't much of a success. Anyway, so it's just a pencil. A little nick I found works pretty good as a fulcrum. So we just put in. What did I do with the piece of metal? Here it is. You just put a little nick in the metal.
Hold on,
Okay.
hold
That's
on,
what it.
hold on, hold on. Where's your quick release mechanism, Gary? And a little nick. So you're not even relying on a pencil. That's not a pencil. You're not even relying on a nail that Tony UK lied that I use when I use an actual bearing. If you're going to use a pencil, to be accurate, at least chop off the pointy end, so that it's equal along its length. Fucking hell, Gary.
See that, and sit against a nail. And that's all you really need. It's not.
So, this is how unfussy you are about an experiment. Okay, you say it's just a proof of concept, but the concept is worthless if you're not at least trying to do a decent experiment. You're just doing it as roughshod as you can. Sloppy. That's shocking.
As it can rotate without rubbing on anything, works pretty good. I think it's going to work pretty good. I mean, you know, haven't got brilliant results yet. So I would argue that in some cases I'm getting more than 50%. Okay, so I'm supposed
How are you measuring this? You're getting more than 50%. What? How are you measuring this? This is so unscientific, it's ridiculous. You've got no means of measuring what you're talking about. Well, we'll see.
to get 100. Yeah, I'm getting more than 50, so at least that's something. And there's no indication of any reflexes, so there's no bouncing happening. But clearly, I'm losing way too much. But that's okay. Just a first try. So this is just a one mass coming in and a one mass coming out. I'm just going to try to get that to be as efficient as possible. So I will.
So you're ignoring what physicist Michael told you about energy being lost to the fulcrum. So I vaguely recollect him saying that. What did he say? A third of the energy gets lost, or something like that. Anyway, but it's not like hitting a one mass into a one mass and one stays still and the other one takes up the velocity of the first mass, is it? According to the theory that physicist Michael said, anyway. Let's carry on.
Do something better than a pencil.
Yeah, we will
Try
go to.
some different things and see if I can get something like
Just Lucy's track coming apart, held down with masking tape.
80% or something, or better than that if possible.
How do we know? Because it's so poorly shot. How do we know that those tracks that you've just tapped back into position because it came off? How do we know that they're parallel? Because if they're not parallel, you could either have the effect of gravity pulling it down if it's wider at the end, finish end, or it could be going effectively uphill if it's the opposite case, where if it's wider at the release end. And it doesn't. It's barely worth examining, really.
Um, but I mean, frankly, this experiment should have already been done. Physics should already have the answer.
Physicist Michael and other people should have already done this experiment. Uh, Forgive me.
Answers to these things by proven experiment. It shouldn't be, I shouldn't have to be doing this on my basement floor. This isn't should
That
shouldn't
hold on.
shouldn't be.
That wasn't that run there. Just go back. that ball that's supposedly in contact with the pencil isn't in contact with the pencil. Just go back a little bit more.
Experiment. It shouldn't be.
Look,
I
it's
shouldn't
rolled
have to be
away.
doing this.
You see, it's rolled away from the pencil. So this is how inaccurate and undisciplined and uninterested Gary is in trying to do his own experiments diligently.
On my basement floor. This isn't shouldn't be how physics is proven.
Well, it fucking well ain't going to be how physics is proven because it's so ridiculous.
Um, it's just ridiculous. They've had a thing.
Yes, this is ridiculous. I agree. The pencil there, you could see, wasn't free to rotate properly, was it? It came to a dead halt quite easily, didn't it? Again, go back a little bit.
Is proven.
Just watch.
It's just
It's not free to rotate, is it? It's not like Michael or Mindless Marvels or Dispars or mine or anyone else's. Yours and yours alone is as sticky as it can be. Totally unreliable piece of evidence.
ridiculous. They've had a theory for 350 years, and the fact is they haven't produced any really good evidence demonstrating it has any credibility at all. They claim it takes, I can keep saying these ridiculous numbers. 9 times the fuel to go 3 times as fast.
Keep to the subject. Just talk about this. Stop trying to straw man the argument. Talk about all your other crappy evidence. Stick to this crappy thing that you've constructed in 5 minutes.
16 times the fuel to go 4 times as fast. 25 times the fuel to go 5 times as fast.
Is this all we've got to look forward to? You just repeating what you've said for the last 2 fucking years every fucking day.
Fast. And the same for impacts.
I've lost interest in this experiment because you're not even talking about this experiment. You're talking about other things. You've fucking wasted time.
They say if you're going 5 times as fast, you're going to do 20.
Am I really supposed to sit here and listen to you waffle a load of shit? Talk about this experiment, not something else, you moron.
5 times more damage. I mean, these aren't realistic statements. It's crap. And they should prove their crap theory. It makes extraordinary claims. It should come with better than crap evidence. And it certainly, shouldn't have to be. I shouldn't have to debunk it. Okay, they should have their own proof already. They should already have the evidence. I shouldn't have to produce counter evidence.
So much crap
I shouldn't have to prove their God is
over the
infeasible.
top of it.
They should have to prove
You're supposed
some
to be
reason to believe
talking
in
about
it,
the
some good reason.
experiment
The
that
evidence
you were
says so.
doing,
And it just
not
plainly doesn't.
other
I don't know if I need to
matters.
draw anything. So it's just a first stage, and well, hopefully I'll find the time to work on it and do a little better and blah blah blah.
Fine time. You've got fuck all else to do with your life, man. If you've got an hour every fucking day to talk shite, the same shite you talked about the day before and the day before that and the week before and the month before and the year before that, if you've got all that time to waste, then you've got time to spend constructing a half decent experiment worth watching, not this piece of fucking crap. It's not even Blue Peter level.
And find something better, the ideal mechanism. I mean, obviously wood isn't too good because it does dent.
That's the least of your worries.
When it does absorb energy, it's fibrous, so it's not the ideal thing to hit. This, where the nail is, I just have layers of plastic underneath it, and so they just kind of slide across each other quite well. So it's pretty, it's not like it's going to spin 100 times, but I mean, it's pretty liquid. You would argue. I don't think I'm losing too much in the fulcrum itself.
Well, it's funny that when we have a fulcrum that's shown to be perfectly free to rotate and rotate and rotate, you and Toady claim that it's lost energy is lost to friction, accounting for why we get a result supporting kinetic energy theory. But when you do it, it's good enough that it'll rotate, a quarter of a turn before it comes to a dead halt. You're a complete fucking hypocrite. A complete fucking lying sack of shit hypocrite.
With the heavy steel bar, it just really wasn't good enough. So I do.
You don't say. You don't fucking say. What about taking a tip from Michael Fowle? You equal Michael Fowlwell, moron. Why can't you take a tip from him and invest some of your £4 or it is you're trying to bribe somebody into listening to you with? Why don't you use some of that £4 to buy 15 quid's worth of carbon fibre, which he did? He's a family man. He's got better things to spend his money on. But he made that sacrifice. He made the effort to drill it carefully, to do the experiment diligently. And the fucking cunt like you comes along and tries to disparage it by talking endless shit about it, making all sorts of crappy claims about it. Ditto Ian Gosling, who you think is called Iron Gosling or something. Ian Gosling is called, not Iron. You fucking giant prick.
Have to think about that one. It still has momentum. You know, it really is going to have to move, and moving this much mass with a little ball bearing isn't very likely. So yeah, so it's probably weighs 4 times or 5 times. I don't know. Probably weighs more than that. You know, it's probably weight.
Yeah, why don't you know how much more it weighs? You should fucking know. You should have some proper half decent scales. It only costs about 10 quid, for God's sake, you tight-fisted miser.
10 times as much as one of the ball bearings. So obviously not an ideal choice. But anyway, we'll see. I'll keep playing with it.
It's just shocking, unbelievable that this prick has been pontificating for 2 fucking years about this subject, and this is the culmination of his efforts. This piece of garbage here.
And we'll see what we get. But I mean, really, this should be doable by somebody with better facilities than I have to do the experiment.
Physicist Michael, why are you trying to pip into the post, so to speak?
All right, so no new comments on the Physics Michael video. Lever launch preview, blah blah, whatever. So anyway, I don't know what I'll title this, but
Has he already done it? I've missed that.
I guess I'll find out when I do that. So anyway, first video of what will no doubt be more than one. And so till the next time and such and so forth and whatnot. All right, time for another physics.com video presentation.
Oh, half an hour of critiquing now, Physicist Michael's, is it? Well, I'd better have a look at Physicist Michael's experiment when I get time, but I do have other things to do. Better things to do than watch a fucking lying sack of shit. Fuck off, Gary.